Lois is dating Clark. Jimmy is close to Lois.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we can't. I didn't want to talk about that on camera.
Why
because
not?
it's a spoiler. It hasn't come out yet, Len.
The reviews, we can always say spoiler.
Yeah, I don't want to do spoilery stuff, but I do want to talk about, like, I love that dynamic because that's been my thing.
Okay, can we start?
All right, go ahead. All right,
wait a minute, I gotta get my phone.
Tell me, can we start? You ain't ready. That has bugged me for 30 years. This is supposed to be a Pulitzer Prize winning
that is
newspaper, and somehow these dumbass glasses
can't see.
Right.
The glasses are hypno glasses.
Yeah, which
okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, like I love how stupid that is.
Wait a minute.
Like I love the fact, like it's always been my theory that they're letting him think that he's fooling them.
Okay.
Like they're like, Clark's stomach is hurting.
Okay.
Everybody's kind of rolls their eyes.
Dylan, am I right that you're already recording? I know.
All right.
All right. So this is Vince and Len review Superman 2025, the new film that is coming out this week, written and directed by James Gunn, and starring in the titular role as Superman, as well as Clark Kent, David Corenswet. It also stars Rachel Brosnahan. Mm-hmm. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
We're gonna go with it.
As Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Also in this movie, you've got our friend Wendell Pierce as Perry White.
Yes.
Which doesn't make this a black film.
No.
But it makes it interesting.
No.
It also has Skyler Gisondo from The Righteous Gemstones. Mm-hmm. As Jimmy Olsen, a perfect casting.
Look.
As Jimmy Olsen. Also, this film, keeping it interesting for people who love the Micheaux mission, Edi Gathegi as Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho.
Yeah.
The voice of Bradley Cooper as Jor-El. Maria Gabriela de Faria as the engineer. Isabela Merced as Hawkgirl, mm-hmm. and geek favorite Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. The Green Lantern.
Guy Gardner.
And there's also Crypto.
In
2025, Superman. Vincent, what you got to say about the Man of Steel?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
I enjoyed it. I really, really did. I thought the casting was pitch perfect. Mm-hmm. I thought the understanding of character was pitch perfect. We were talking, I had to get some stuff out before we start taping because I don't want to go too far into spoiler. But I thought the dynamic between the characters at the Daily Planet was not only perfect, but it was, by the end of the film, they dealt with something that I've wanted them to deal with for 30 years. Mm-hmm. I thought the actors had great chemistry.
Okay.
I thought Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult really captures, like, I think my favorite Lex Luthor has a vein of pettiness and smallness that prevents him from being as great as he thinks he is.
Okay.
And I thought the script did a great job with touches here and there showing that pettiness.
Okay.
That keeps him from being who he should be. James Gunn clearly has an affection for the character and this material. I have some qualms about the film itself that, frankly, I don't think he could help. But we could talk about that. But overall, I was pleased.
He has an affection for the character, but I think his affection is definitely in a set time period
Oh yeah.
I think he's definitely Bronze Age, like 70s, 80s Superman.
Yeah. Would you count All-Star Superman as Bronze Age?
No.
Yeah, because
All-Star Superman is
that's yeah.
First of all, All-Star Superman is the best Superman comic ever.
I got a lot of
All-Star Superman
postmodern love of Superman.
Okay.
Like very much, this sort of almost metatextual understanding.
Okay.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but not in a. But you're right. I do think it's a very. Well, go ahead. You talk.
Well, no. Yeah. So I think he has a love for the Bronze Age, and I think that is definitely shows on the screen, in the imagery on the screen. It's interesting that you brought in All-Star Superman. I think he tries to capture some of that aspect of All-Star Superman in here, from his depiction of Luthor, from his depiction of Clark Kent and Superman, his Lois Lane. Rachel Brosnahan, who I know from the Fabulous Mrs. Maisel, I think she's great. I think she is absolutely fantastic. I like Skyler Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen. He was great. Nicholas Hoult. I was actually worried about his casting, but he pulled it off.
Yeah.
I really thought he did it. At the end of the day, I will say that I'm a little iffy on the movie. I walked out of the movie saying, like, I don't know how much I really enjoyed it. And then thinking about it back today, I'm like, okay, it is a good movie. I mean, it's a James Gunn movie. He's having fun. Superman is having fun. Like, it's a fun Superman movie, as much as it does get a little serious at times. The action beats, I think, they're pretty good. They're not great. I don't think he's breaking new ground there. He found a different way to show Superman flying. Doesn't work for me, but he does it. The Crypto in here, Crypto is adorable. I think they pull that trigger maybe one too many times in the film. But saying that, I was sitting next to this young guy who had his two sons with him. They absolutely loved the movie and ate it up every time Crypto was on the screen.
Crypto actually bothered me until the very last moment of the film.
Yes.
Because it never made sense to me why Superman's dog would act like this.
Right.
I think a lot of people sort of accuse James Gunn of squeezing James Gunnian things into characters because this is where he wants it to go. And I have to admit, I thought he was doing that with Crypto all the way up until the very end. Something happens.
Yeah, you realize it.
And then it made complete sense why Superman's dog would act like this.
Everything else made sense. Yeah, you're right.
Retroactively, I absolutely loved Crypto. And now I'm looking forward to what I assume is going to be more Crypto.
Yes, in another...
More than anything else.
Yeah. And I also love that the post-credit scene is not a post-credit scene. It's the last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, that would have been, in Marvel, it would have been a post-credit scene.
Look,
so I did like that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of later projects and all of us being trained at this point, post the Marvel thing, I did feel like there was a bit of, I gotta lay the blueprint for everything.
Yeah.
Like this sort of early version of the Justice League.
Justice Gang.
Yes, the Justice Gang.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. And Metamorpho.
Yes.
And you know, the stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Like you got the sense that it was sort of almost studio mandate that you have to let people know
about the world.
This kind of world building that's coming. And it bothered me because, as you could tell when I came in, I love the Daily Planet. I love the relationship between Superman and Lois. I actually love this version of the Kents.
I do too.
I love the Kents.
It's different. It's actually did something. They did something.
Part of the reason I pushed back a little bit when you said it was pulling from the Bronze Age is because, and I'm gonna get in the weeds very quickly and then get back out the weeds. There's a decision that this film makes about the depiction of Krypton that very much is inspired by John Byrne.
Yes.
In later depictions of Krypton that I thought was a swing. And you know, I think when the dust settles, that's going to be the most controversial part, frankly, the depiction of Krypton. But I loved it. And I think it was such a beautiful and subtly done depiction of adoption.
Yes.
And the family that chooses you.
Yes.
And what that means and your identity. So I could have watched, and then as I said, I love this Lex Luthor. Like I love, and that's John, you know.
That's Byrne a little bit.
That's Byrne. Like I really do think that Byrne kind of in the Man of Steel in the 80s had that pettiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
he's just younger, but that's Byrne.
Yeah, so I could have watched 2 hours. I didn't need the Justice Gang. I didn't need Metamorpho.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I said, once you understand what the crypto dynamic is, I could have had 15 minutes of that.
Yeah. See,
I could have just had almost like the first season of the Superman Adventures cartoon, where there's enough in Superman that you don't need this other stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Metamorpho didn't bother me. Actually, I was surprised how well they pulled him off. But I do agree with you. Like the Justice Gang, who for the most part I enjoyed. I love Mr. Terrific. Yeah, and Nathan Fillion is definitely the treasure, the nation's treasure.
At this point, he's the Phillips screwdriver.
He is
of this thing.
He is.
Yeah.
But you're right. I could have done without them. But I do like. Again, I like that they're the Justice Gang because I understand what that is a prelude to as well.
Right.
So at the end, like I said, I came out of it, and I think I really came out of it because I wasn't sure about David Corenswet, his Superman, his Clark Kent. I thought he was good, but it just didn't grab me. I do want to see the movie again to make sure, but the fact that I do want to see it again means that maybe I liked it more than I actually thought. You know? So
you're just a curmudgeon.
I am a little bit of a curmudgeon. Well, I'm a bit of a curmudgeon, and I also will say that I do think, talking about swings, James Gunn takes a big swing, kind of like dropping you right into the middle of a story and asking you to care about some things that have happened off screen.
Again,
so I think that's a big swing.
I think there were 2 challenges James Gunn had. The first, as I mentioned, at this point we are in phase 5 or whatever with Marvel, and for strengths and weaknesses, the Marvel universe is this fully fleshed out universe and world. And I feel like the powers that be at DC Studios want to catch up. But you can't just so you gotta catch up. And you know, for all of my misgivings of Zack Snyder and his version, I do think one of the unfair accusations that the Snyderverse got was that it didn't, it wasn't everything. It's like, dude, he had like 2 movies. Like it takes time to build that out. Wow. So he's got to deal with that. And then he's got to get the thing moving.
Yes, and he does.
You know, at this point, there have been 3 Supermans since Christopher Reeves.
Yes.
Like
well, in the films, yes. This is the 3rd.
So this is the 3rd. So there are 3 before this. So what? You got Superman Returns. You've got
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
You got and then now you have David Corenswet.
Okay, so right, but I'm including like TV projects.
Well, if you count TV, then you've got Tyler. I don't know the last man's name on Superman and Lois.
Look, we've done all this, and again, back to All-Star Superman, which you and I agree is the best Superman. Dude, he could have did like I didn't need to 3 years ago and 3 months ago. Dude, due to Grant Morrison, Doom Planet, Science Parents, Kindly Adoptive Couple, Metropolitan Newspaper, Superman. Boom. Like at this point, it's American mythology.
But he does his version of it.
He does his version of
in
it
the beginning.
But but as you said, it drops in the middle of a plot.
Yeah, and that's
like dropping it in the plot. Yeah. I think does make it a little
challenging.
A little challenging for a moment.
But I think he, for the most part, he may have nailed it. I've got to watch it again.
Yeah,
but I would recommend that you go see Superman.
As would I.
All right, that is our review of Superman in theaters now. Check out the Micheaux Mission every weeknight, Tuesdays, live from Young Junk, right here on YouTube and wherever you find podcasts.
Oh, yeah. How long they've been hooking up. There's clearly familiarity there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they know. Perry and Jimmy know. Lois and Clark are so goo-goo odd with each other.
I just still not sure about Perry, but I hear you.